Those of you who know that storyline, it's incredible. It's full of emotion and love and thunder, and it introduces, for the first time, female Thor. So, for us, there's only one person who could play that role. Only one. And she's here. I'm going to introduce her to you now. Please welcome to the stage, Natalie Portman.
One of the biggest announcements to come out of Marvel Studios' Hall H presentation at San Diego Comic-Con this year was Natalie Portman returning as Jane Foster in Thor: Love and Thunder, a logo that looks surprisingly like He-Man. Let it sink in. You'll know what I'm talking about. Now, many people were shocked at her return since she seemingly quit the MCU back in 2016. Now, at the age of 38, she's returning to the role that she was 100% okay walking away from, and is leading the Thor franchise in an entirely new direction. But why? Why has Kevin Feige brought back Natalie Portman into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Well, the answer is actually quite simple: the Secret Wars storyline. Secret Wars is a storyline where Earth 616, that was mentioned in Spider-Man Far From Home, and Earth 1610 collide and destroy both worlds. Somehow, large pieces of each survive and are then combined with one another. This is actually probably the fastest way that Kevin Feige can bring the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool over into the MCU proper. And this is probably why Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch are going into the Multiverse of Madness in 2021. But why female Thor? Why the Jane Foster as Thor storyline that premiered in the fall of 2014? Well, it certainly wasn't comic sales, though many people out there would try to claim that it was back in 2015. While the comic sales did do well in the beginning, the Mighty Thor was still canceled in 2018 due to low sales. However, Jane Foster still survived as a human. Now, some people have tried to argue that this was an attack on diversity, but Marvel Chief Creative Officer Joe Quesada explained it on Twitter by saying, "If a comic finds an audience, it will stick around regardless of the lead character or creator's gender, ethnicity, sexual preference, or identification. You can claim we're tone deaf, but we publish those books, but you guys ultimately decide what survives." Now, this came before the cancellation of the Mighty Thor, but it does give you an idea that Marvel Comics realizes that certain things weren't selling. So, yeah. But it appears that Kevin Feige still wants to embrace the lack of female-led representation in the franchises in the MCU, and that was quite apparent at the Hall H presentation. So, he recruits Natalie Portman to return to the franchise, wield Mjolnir, and become the Mighty Thor. But what is Kevin Feige's endgame here? Why prop up a character that isn't really talked about by comic fans at all anymore? I actually believe it has everything to do with the Russo Bros. Many times they've dished about how much they love the Secret Wars storyline and how that storyline would be the only way to get them back into making another MCU movie. At the San Diego Comic-Con, they once again proclaimed their love for that comic run, and they used it as an example for what would bring them back to Marvel Studios. Avengers Endgame just passed James Cameron's Avatar as the highest grossing movie of all time, and Kevin Feige has to be thinking about how he can top things going forward. As Carol Danvers says, higher, further, faster, and that is also Kevin Feige's motto right now. But Feige using Jane Foster as a conduit to Secret Wars and merging the 20th Century Fox characters into the MCU is a bold move and a very, very smart one. Plus, it gives Robert Downey Jr. a way to come back as an alternate Tony Stark if he wants. And now that the War of the Realms storyline has just wrapped up, that actually gives Feige another comic run to adapt at the end of another phase down the road, further proving that Marvel Studios and the MCU will be around for a very, very, very long time. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think that this is just tokenism? Do you think that this is actual representation? Do you think this is just a lame attempt at trying to use a character that's been kind of overlooked in the comics, but needs to check a box? I am curious to know your thoughts. Let me know down in the comments below. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day. Please subscribe if you're new, and peace out.